Hey, I hope you're ready for this third and final presentation at this level on percentages. Can you work it out? Well, look around the screen. What's it all mean? These words of percentage decrease, percentage increase, percentage profit, percentage loss, percentage change. What is the percentage by which the average temperature of a region has changed over the last 10 years? That sort of thing. And why are we using percentages? Same idea. It's a common way of comparing. So let's see if we can apply our basic calculations to some real life situations. So come on down, let's have a look at some of these words and see the basis of them. Okay, here we are. So often people say there's been a certain percentage change, maybe related to income or expenses, or a percentage change in the cost of a bill or something like that. So the first thing we want to do is to define how do you work out a change. So a change is defined in mathematics as always the final amount minus the original amount. So there's two sorts of changes, aren't there? You could say you've got an increase when the final amount is bigger than the initial amount. So the final amount was $400, it used to be $200. So what's the change? Final minus initial, $200. So look out, if we use that definition, here we are, we will get a decrease when the final amount is less than the initial. So if we follow the definition, final minus initial, the use of a negative in maths again. Hey, we've seen that. It means the opposite direction. So instead of an increase, it's a decrease. So maths to the rescue, it can cover that situation as well. So here's a little fella down here, all wired up. A positive change means an increase. A negative change means a decrease. Opposite direction. Maths is always very consistent. So once you've learned it and you've built it up, it won't let you down, mate. So let's see if we can do some with this and see what happens. Okay. Quite often people want to talk about the percentage by which something has changed. So just come back here again, in the middle there. The percentage change. Now it's changed by 10% over the last 2 years or something. Talking about maybe costs or temperature or the amount of rainfall. So how do we work out a percentage change? Well, that's okay. That means per 100. How much out of 100? So let's look at the change and we divide by the original amount. So to work out a change as a percentage, we've always got to have a fraction, don't we? And then we work out how much it is out of 100. Okay, so if you're talking about a percentage of anything, you need a change as a fraction. Change as a fraction out of a total, and then we will multiply by 100 to get the comparison rate out of 100, the percent. Okay, so the idea here is, this is again a definition. If you're working with percentage change, you always start off by saying, what is the change divided by? Here's the crucial one here. It's always divided by the original amount. So that was your starting point. And you're going to measure the change, either positive or negative, either an increase or a decrease, relative to that original amount. So that's the fraction. You must write your change, which could be positive or negative, as a fraction over the original amount. Okay, so we're all consistent. Otherwise, if some people divided by a different amount, we wouldn't know what was going on. So we start with the original, and it's a change as a fraction of the original. And then changing to a fraction out of 100 or a percent. Then we're all on the same page and everybody understands what's going on. So let's have a look at an example of this. Find the percentage increase or decrease in the change from. Now this screen clipping is from Hayes and Harris Publications. Good idea to get their book there, mate. So let's have a look. It went from $120 to $150. So what is the definition mathematically of a change? It's final minus original. Okay, 150 minus 120 it's gone up by 30. If you want what percentage that is, it's a percentage compared to the original amount. So here's your fraction that you start with to change to a percentage. It's $30 change compared to the original 120, not compared to 150. That's where it finished. That's not our definition. Change is always based on what was the starting or the original amount, here down here. So we have a fraction which we say it's 30 out of 120, and we're going to change it to a number out of 100 by multiplying by 100. So that's going to give us a percent. So there's a 25% increase. So if you want to go in reverse, you say, let's just check it here. 25% of the original $120, does that actually come to 30? Well, 25 itself goes once, into 100 goes 4, 4's and 100, oh yes, it checks. Okay, we could always check it, because we could go back and find that percentage of the original. Remember, the key thing there is original. Let's have a look at this one over here. 400 metres changed to 250. The change is always the final minus the original or initial. So the final was 250 minus the initial. 250 take 400. Let's think about that. 250 this way, then take 400 would be back at negative 150. Just checking out that opposite direction for that negative sign. So what's the percentage change? Well, let's get the change and compare it to the original amount. That's our definition. And then we will change that fraction to a fraction out of 100, or a number out of 100, fraction over 100, by multiplying by 100. So it's negative 150 over 400, and you could do that on the calculator, or you could cancel some numbers, probably easier on the calculator. So it is possible to get a negative percentage there. But then we would interpret it in everyday life as decrease. Most people don't understand negatives in everyday life. So that means it went down. How much? 37.5%. Of what? Always of the original is our base figure which we are working from. All right, do you get it? Time to practice. Have a go now and see what you think. So here's 5E, first 3 questions. I'll show you the rest in a minute. Usual idea, have a go. The answers are down below, and as you have a go, toggle forward and have a look at the answers and come back each one that you do, so you know you're on track. Don't practice all the wrong stuff over and over. Okay, let's have a look at the rest of them here. Just 4 and 5. Okay, so pause it, have a go, and let's check the answers now. Okay, there are our answers, so check that. And we're using, I see what Hayes are doing here, using 1 decimal place here, generally, so that's an idea. So just check your numbers. If you're rounding off, you should use this approximate sign in here. Okay, let's move on to some more applications, because this is interesting, the way people use this in everyday life. And here's a big one. This is in the retail industry, or in buying and selling in general. The cost price is the price at which the business buys the article. The selling price is the price at which the business sells the article. So that's a little couple of definitions. You could write that down in your book. Profit or loss. The profit is the selling price minus the cost price. You might say, well, that's not fair to sell it for more than what you got it. But what is this business doing? This business is bringing goods to you. So a business, a retail business, what? It has a shop or a store where it makes items available. Those items may be from factories all over the world. So you can't go all over the world to buy it. So they bring them in, items available, they display them and show you the differences, and then they sell them. Well, for bringing all these items from maybe all over the world and displaying them, they've got to get paid for that. That takes time. And the shop and electricity, people working there, all brought together so that you can see them and see what you'd like to buy. Because these items, you can't travel all over the world to compare what sort of refrigerator you're going to buy. That would cost a lot of money, and all those factories all over the place. So that's what the retail business might do, bring those items in, display them all alongside of each other, and sell them to you, for which they want to make some money. They've got to get paid for that. So they generally try to make a profit, don't they? So they try to sell it for greater than the cost. And if they lose, it means they've sold it for less than what they bought it for. Okay, they wouldn't want to do that too often, because then they won't be there to show you all this stuff, and you have to go all over the place to compare these goods. All right, you get the idea a bit about buying and selling there. Okay, let's have a look at what we're going to do with this now. Here's an example. Find the profit or loss that occurs when an electronics store buys a TV for $180 and sells it for $295. Okay, so what are we going to do here? It's the selling price minus the cost price. Is $295 minus $180. If we do it on the calculator, it's $115, or do it in your head. That one's not too bad. So here, it's a positive result, which meant the selling price was higher than the cost price. So from our definitions above, they have made a profit. Now, do it always the same way, selling price minus cost price. Or if you like, final minus original. You could think of this as their original money that they had to spend to buy the goods. The selling price is $650 in the second example. Car Yard buys the car for $900, loses on it, sells it for only $650. Always the same though. You don't put the largest one first. That's a common error. It's the selling price minus the cost price. And what's happened? It is negative $250. Negative means what? Opposite direction. It's lost money of $250. Made a loss. So this little dude up here, she's saying a positive value means a profit, a negative value means a loss. Because we're always going to do selling price minus cost price. Okay. So I guess you're ready to have a go. Come down and have a look at this one here. Percentage profit. Okay, how much profit you're making. Everybody uses percentage. Why? Because internationally that's a way to compare, isn't it? And what's the percentage profit? The profit over the original, which is the cost price, times 100. Always create a fraction. If you want to make a percentage, okay, take a fraction and then multiply by 100 to make it out of 100. Percent means per 100. Okay, percentage loss is your loss, which is going to be a figure over the cost over the original. So percentage change is pretty consistent mathematically. Maths is very easy to understand. It's the value divided by the original, which in buying and selling is the cost price, times 100. So you're making these connections. I don't want you to go off and memorize a whole lot of things in monkey fashion. Try and look at the basic principles. Maths is easy and much better, much more fun if you can get up and close and personal with it. So let's come on down now and have a look at another example. So here we go. A microscope was purchased for $600 and sold 2 months later for $450. Find the profit or loss as a percentage of the cost price. So you always say selling minus cost. And if it comes out to be a negative, oh yes, they sold it for less than what they bought it. That's quite often the case with second-hand goods, isn't it? When you've used them for a while, people are going to pay less. That's reasonable. So we've got a loss of $150 because the selling price was less than the cost price, and we've got a negative answer there. So the percentage that we're working out is a loss because it's negative. So we drop the negative now. When we put loss divided by the original times 100, the loss we just put 150 because loss already implies, oh, you've seen that sign before. That's an implied sign used in maths. That implies it was a negative result there. A negative. We don't have to put in the negative anymore because we've covered it in the word loss. So the loss was 150 out of the cost price of 600 times 100, which is 25%. Do you get it? All right, let's have a look now at some exercises. Here's question 1 and 2. I'd like you to pause the presentation and the answers are down below. Toggle forward once you've done some. Okay, let's have a look at the other ones. A few more problems here for you this time. 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7. Okay, pause it, have a go. And there's 8. Okay, let's have a look at some answers now. Okay, we'll just try and bring up 3 here. I think that's all for 3. Yep, there's 3. Let's go down slowly now to 4 through 8. Okay. How are you going? You need some help? Check with the classmates and your teacher. Maybe go back over the video again and check out what's going wrong if there is anything. Let's go on now. Another little example. Find the selling price for goods. Oh, this is going differently now. Purchased for $150 and sold at 20% profit. So can you see that that profit means you must increase the cost price by 20%. So let's do the two-step method. The profit would be 20% of 150. That's 20 over 100, which is, using a decimal that they've got here now, 0.2, moving the decimal in there, times 150. Doing it on the calculator, $30. Notice, you could do it differently there. 20% is going to be something that you could cancel. 20 over 100, cancel the tens, 2's go into 10, 5. So times 150, 50 into 150, you could do it without a calculator, $30. So what are they selling it for? You've got your cost plus the profit is 180. That's a two-step method. Or if you wanted to go straight to the answer, use the multiply method, far more convenient. Must get your head around this. So to increase by 20%, that's 100% plus 20%. You want 120% of the original. So it's 120% of the cost price and 120%, 120 over 100, shift the decimal place in, dividing by 100 is 1.2 is our multiplier. So we want 1.2 lots of $150 on the calculator, then it would be $180. Okay, get your head around both of them. They're both good methods. If you want to go straight to the answer though, of what are you selling it for, you would use the multiplier. All right, let's go on, and here's a chance for you to do some. 9, 10 and 11. Read the question carefully. Maybe underline things like that. I'll leave that up to you. That's not a bad strategy. All right, pause it, have a go, and I'll show you the answers. Here we are, we've got some answers down here. And you see something coming up below there. Go check your work. Let's go on now. We've got somebody having a sale here. Country Path Fashions. Nothing to do with Country Road, I guess. Oh, maybe. Anyway, so here we've got a discount. Now, what's a discount? Well, that's when the selling price is what was previously marked on the items minus a discount. So this keen woman here is running in to get some fashions, but discount prices. So she's going to look at the ticket on the dress or on the item and then take off the discount, which is going to be, according to the sign here, between 25% and 50%. 25% and 50% of what? Well, of the original. Remember, maths is very consistent like that. It's a percentage of the original. That would have been the price that was already marked there. Okay, so let's go down and have a look at an example of that. So a dishwasher has a marked price of $4.95. During a sale, a $120 discount is offered. Find the sale price of the dishwasher. No percentage into this one. So there's your mark price, and you're going to have a discount of 120, which is $3.75. Now that discount is usually not quoted as a dollar value. It's usually quoted as a percentage off. Okay, so this confuses some people. All right, but usually quoted as a percentage off. Let's go down and have a look at that sort of example. Video projector is $1,060 and a 20% discount. Taking it off, discount. Find the actual selling price. So we have to decrease, because it's a discount, by 22%. Using the multiplier method is quickest here. So you're not going to pay 100%. You're going to take 22% off. 100 take 22 is say 78%. So you only have to pay 78% of the mark price. 78% of 1,060 is, watch here, 78 over 100, same again. Move the decimal in. So it's 0.78. There's your multiplier. It's 0.78 times 1,060. And they're saying here of means multiply in this situation. So you'll only have to pay $826.80. All right, come down and have a look and see what you think. Coming to the end now. So there's the first 4 questions. I think that's most of 5. I think there might be a part C in there. So pause the presentation and get your head around the idea of the selling price being the mark price minus the discount. Okay, we'll go on a bit and then I'll show you the answers. So there's the rest of 5 and 6. All right, how are you going? You'll have to think about this one. They're asking you to fill in all different bits and pieces, backwards and forwards and so on. Okay, let's have a look at the answers now. Okay, so there they are. And I hope you're going okay. This one, check out all the entries you had to do and just check with your teacher, other students, how it went. Let's have a good look now at the last bit. A good look for goods and services tax. Now this is a tax in Australia which is applied to goods and services. So anything except food and that which you buy has a 10% tax on it. Okay, so if somebody comes and fixes up your plumbing at home and charges $500 for his time or her time, then this tax has to be applied and you have to add on 10%. And that's for the government. So it's a tax. It goes to the government, not to the business or the person. It goes to the government. It is a tax to help run the country. Okay, let's have a look at some examples of that. Another important use of percentages. So here we are. A sports store wants to receive $70 from the sale of a cricket bat. Find the GST and therefore the selling price. So the GST, goods and services tax, is you've got to add 10%. You have to pay that. And the person selling the goods doesn't get that. That 10% goes to the government. All right, so I want you to do that. And if they ask for the GST, of course, you've got to actually work it as a 2-step method. You want to find the 10% and then add it on. Okay, So this would be, and on to the mark price, they're $70. And what would the final selling price be? It will be the mark price plus the GST. Okay, or you could do the one-step method and just do a multiplier on the $70 to see what the selling price would end up. You wouldn't know the actual value then of the GST. Right, do you get it? Let's see if you have got some answers for this one, and I'll show you the answers now. All right, there they are. So adding on 10% for that GST tax, not a hard one. I wonder, did you use the multiplier? 100% plus 10% is 110%. You can go straight to the answer by saying that is 110 over 100, which is 1.1. So there's our multiplier method, going straight to the answer. Okay, look, I hope you've enjoyed these little presentations on percentages, 3 of them. You can go back and check it all out again, get your head around it. Remember, maths is fun if you can actually see it and get up close and personal with it. Hope to catch you in another presentation. Cheers for now.